used to be in a band or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They were that big. They toured and stuff.
Yeah, they used to call him Sleazy G or something. I don't get it. The Georgezilla Podcast. Alright, so I have not been feeling great. And that's why I took like a week off. So basically, since I was a little kid, probably like 5 years old, I got sick around Christmas time every year. And it could have been the flu, could have been, whatever cold going around. Every Christmas I was sick. And this isn't just hearsay. I remember watching like old Christmas videos of when I was a kid, and I remember asking my mom, like, why am I always like off to the side, like coughing, or like I just look like I'm sick, like literally. And she's like, yeah, you got sick every Christmas. But yeah, this time around, I don't know what happened, but it was all in my stomach. Not good. So I took about 2 weeks off of coffee again because my stomach, and then
Excuse me?
yeah, I was just trying to get better. That sucks. Getting sick in general sucks. Being a dude, when we get sick, it's the worst. But yeah, I took like 2 weeks off. 2 weeks. And I had coffee for the first time yesterday. Here's the thing, like I used to drink, I think, I don't even know, was it Trenta or whatever? I don't know, man. Yeah, Trentas or something at Starbucks, and that's quite a bit of coffee. I mean, there's a couple espresso shots in there. I think there's at least like 3 or 4. I don't know. It's pretty strong, but now I do like 1 espresso shot. The only kicker is I add protein powder. And I will tell you this, man, if you don't really try protein powder or any like added protein, it's gonna turn your stomach. But after a while, you get used to it. I'll tell you this, man, it's like a loaded gun. If you have coffee and protein, oh man. But it's good. It tastes good. It makes the coffee taste a little better. Keeps me a little more full because I don't really like to eat in the morning. Anyways, that's my spiel. I had coffee yesterday, and whoo, man. So I'm hoping that this is just normal, okay? I did eat with this, so should help. But let's get into it. So yeah, I was sick, whatever. What's past? We had Christmas. So I did the whole family thing, just like everybody else. And before that, we had Thanksgiving, and then the New Year's passed. So, yeah, lots gone on. I went to the last Dr. Phil live show. It was in Hollywood. It was awesome. Had a blast. I might put a clip up because I actually got on camera, which was pretty cool.
We made it.
Yeah, it was awesome. I can't wait to
made it
to another show. And I'm talking like comedy. I mean, first of all, I didn't know this, but Adam Ray, he doesn't have like a band play. And the Kill Tony band was the band for that night. And the Kill Tony band, they're all talented. Every single one of those dudes are talented. And that's one of the things that I really like about watching Kill Tony. Not only, the jokes, the stand-ups and all that, but the band, they're great. And it was really cool to see them. They're, playing, like, I guess their set before the actual show. And then I remember just being like, man, like, these guys are good. And I was like, they should play some Chicago. And they actually did. It was really cool. Was it 25 or 6 to 4 or something? It's a great song, and they killed it. So props to them. That was like a good highlight of my night, just like geeking out to watching the band play. And then, all the guests that showed up, Harlan Williams, what is it? Norm McDonald? I can't fucking remember. Mark McDonald, one of those McDonald's dudes. And who else was there? One of the guests was Steve Urkel. That was cool. Anyways, it was a great night. I had a blast. Yeah. So this podcast, and I didn't say stream. I did said it, but anyways, it's gonna be focused on music, like I always say, but it really is. So this one's kind of strange for me, but it's how I got into music. Everybody, my God, sorry. Everybody gets into music, some way. Some people just have friends that play. You might just hear a song and you're like, man, this is my jam, and then it's your favorite band, favorite group, whatever. But it didn't stop there for me. It wasn't just like, oh, this is so cool. I wanted to be involved. Just from the get-go, I loved music. But let's start with this. So I think I covered this before, but I went to Catholic private school my whole life. Okay, so this is what happens. You and back then I was a punk rocker, I guess, and I had my chain wallet, studded belt, Vans. I had all those little bracelets on my arm and all that crap. But yeah, so this is how I got into music, because it wasn't just me hearing music and like, oh, it's cool. Like I wanted to perform. But yeah, so being a Catholic raised kid, I guess, which by the way, I'm not Catholic anymore. You're kind of sheltered. And I had just friends that went to, my school, and then I had friends that went to the public schools. And then I had friends that I played hockey. I played roller hockey, so I had a lot of outside friends. I skateboard. I don't want. I really didn't want to say this. I used to rollerblade because I used to play hockey. I used to play roller hockey. So it's like, okay, it goes hand in hand. After I play roller hockey, I would go rollerblade, man. I mean, come on. And then I started skateboarding and whatnot. But music was always a part of my life. And there's so many ways that music snuck into my life, even though I wasn't allowed to listen to this stuff. Um, Let me just get this straight. So if I was in my dad's car, it was just Christian radio. Christian radio, man. And that, I'm sorry, that shit sucks, man. It sucks. Um, I'm not I'm not clowning on the message. I just don't like the music. So, hey, I have heard a couple Christian bands that I kind of got into at the time, but it wasn't anything great. All the mainstream Christian bands. Uh, and then later on, I got into like Christian metal, I guess. Under Oath and Beloved and God, who else was Norma Jean? Shit like that. But besides that, I'd go to my dad's car, and it was Christian music. Every once in a while, it'd be oldies, which I really liked. And then my mom's car, it was pop. It was freaking Gloria Estefan. It was Milli Vanilli, Michael Jackson, stuff like that. But you gotta understand, me being sheltered, right? Anything. Oh, here comes Lagatha. She wants to be part of the stream. I don't know if she's gonna get picked up on the camera unless she looks up. She's right up there. She is. There she is. Yeah. Give me a second. She's walking by. What are you doing, little baby? You want to say hi to everybody? This is her favorite spot. She comes up here every time I'm trying to game, and she will sit just right in front of the screen. And anyways, she's the cutest thing ever. She hates when I hold her, but she loves being around me. So yeah, she's here. Yeah. She might just sit over here. She might be good. I'm a little worried she might go up here and start tearing shit apart. I don't really care if she does that, but it's going to be loud and distracting. So, yeah, what was I saying? I don't fucking remember what I was saying. Yep, that happens. Oh, so yeah, I was talking about like the secular music that I was listening to, the pop music that my mom would play, and I liked it. I liked Michael Jackson. I mean, Michael Jackson had, Eddie Van Halen and what Eddie Van Halen um, on a lot of the tracks. What was it? Beat It. I think it was Beat It. And then what was the other one? Freaking Black or White. I mean, that's like a rock song, you know. But I took whatever I could get, because anything to me was better than listening to this worship music because it wasn't what I was into. I'm sorry, I mean, whatever. Um, but yeah, I had to sneak it. I couldn't watch MTV. I couldn't watch. Oh man, it was rough. It was rough just to hear anything, but I did. So obviously, my friends had a lot to do with that. My friends I would skateboard with and hang out with, they all would listen to regular music, and I loved it. I mean, I listened to whatever they gave me. But before I even get into that, it's really crazy. Like, not even being a musician at the time, I was just a skateboarder, and I was probably in like the seventh grade, eighth grade, or something. And I would watch, all the skateboard videos, and if you guys know that watch skateboard videos, they always have music in the background, and usually the the pro or amateur, whoever was skating, they pick their skate part music, right? And so I loved it. Every time I'd watch a skateboard video, someone would come on and there'd be some sick ass music. And I'll give you an example of one guy that I really like to watch because number one, he was. Oh, there's lag. I think she's gonna go take a nap. Number one, he pretty sure he had like tattoos. The way he dressed, he was very like gritty, and he looked like a street skater. Jamie Thomas, right? Jamie Thomas was badass, and he was sponsored by Zero Sillas, and every part that he had some dope music. So he had the Misfits. I didn't even know who the Misfits were at that time, and they at in those videos they wouldn't put the band name, so you just hear it. He had the Misfits playing. He had Iron Maiden. He had let's see, Black Sabbath. Um, Trying to think of what else. I'm gonna fucking brain fart, but he had tons of sweet bands, and so that kind of got me more into punk rock, metal, and all that stuff. And I just didn't really know who it was. And I just want to go to say this before I forget, but like, fast forward to like ninth grade, and I was in a Misfits cover band, and I remember my buddy calling me one day, and he's like, "Dude, like, you want to play guitar in my band?" And I was like, "Sure." And I was like, "What kind of music?" And he said it's gonna be cover the Misfits, and I was like, I've seen the shirts everywhere. You gotta understand, I'm like eighth or ninth grade. Seen the shirts everywhere. I always assumed the Misfits were some crazy metal band. I just looked at their logo and I'm like, oh yeah, they're probably like metal, death metal, whatever. No idea who they were. I wasn't allowed to listen to them. And so I remember showing up to the first practice and we're like, all right, let's do it. And so they're playing Misfits. And I'm like, I know that song. I knew probably half the set already because of Jamie Thomas and whoever else had good music during their skates sets. So that kind of got me into that. So but that's like the basis of it. But let me go back to where it started, right? Okay. So skateboarder, loved skateboarding. Um, I loved music at the time, but it was very it was just hit or miss. It would be like, oh, I got some CD from my friend and I listened to it. It wasn't like I was looking for it. Um, I would watch MTV2 super late at night, and back then it was like, I think they played. It was like, God, I can't remember. It was like, is it Headbangers Ball or something? I don't even know. And I remember being, like I said, seventh or eighth grade, watching it, and the bands that stuck out to me, I can tell you now, but it was Killswitch Engage, Shadows Fall, Terror, Hatebreed, just among others, right? I didn't know what the fuck hardcore was. I didn't know what metalcore was. I didn't know any of that. I was just like, these guys are screaming. And I was like one of the dudes back in the day that I was a big punk rocker. And when I first started hearing hardcore, well, we called it hardcore punk, It wasn't hardcore. And I just heard the singer screaming or yelling, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's punk, and they're just screaming. Cool. I liked it because the bands I listened to did that already. A lot of the bands, even like I can think of like Guttermouth, they would scream every once in a while, like not the scream you would think, but like they would yell, right? Um, what other bands? There was one, Straight Face. Straight Face would yell. That was like a hardcore band, but I just thought it was hardcore punk. So when I heard like, I remember watching Headbangers Ball or whatever, and Killswitch Engage came on, and I can remember. I just remember being super late and watching this, and believe it or not, this was when Howard Jones had just joined, and so the video that was playing was Fixation on the Darkness, but it was the version they did with Howard Jones. And here's another thing, which I don't want to say this the wrong way. I got to think about this, but I okay, so Howard Jones, he's black, and nothing against that, obviously, right? But I was just like, whoa, like this big burly black guy is screaming in this metal band with a bunch of white dudes, and I thought that was awesome. I was like, oh, this is a thing. Obviously, don't care now to this day. Howard Jones is awesome. So I heard that, and I'm just like, what the fuck am I listening to? I mean, that was really heavy for me. I think I had heard maybe like Slayer back then, but that Kill Switch was heavy for me. Just the actual like screaming and like the kind of like guttural type screams, and then I remember seeing Shadows Fall, and I was like, whoa, man, like Shadows Fall was sick. And then all the other ones I named, I'd watch them. So I looked forward to sneaking into the living room at night to watch this stuff, while all you other dudes were trying to watch the black box, the fuzzy black box, right? I was watching MTV, watching Beavis and Butthead. I was not allowed to watch that. And that got me into a lot of bands that I, you know, didn't know of. And it was really like eye opening, and I just couldn't believe that there was music like that out there. And like I said, I was very sheltered, so I had, my dad who was super Christian and my mom that was super Catholic, and they're always telling me, mainly my dad would be like, oh yeah, music is dangerous, and that's how the devil fell from heaven, and well, whatever, bro. Like, you know what? And just saying, oh, music can lead to this and that, while he's over there listening to like Christian music and then turning on oldies or turning on like Led Zeppelin, whatever. It's like, dude, whatever. So, but yeah, I had to sneak around to listen to all that, and it was a fun time to sneak around and do that because I had this like database in my head of all these new bands. It was cool. Um, but yeah, I mean, I just pretty much listened to what was out there. One of the things that got me into music too, I remember going to. I think I went to like the Universal City Walk when I was really young, and I went into like a Tower Records or something, and I didn't know what I was in there to buy, and I was with my dad, and I'm just like, I can't go buy like a Kill Switch Engage CD. He's gonna be like, Kill, that's in the name. You can't, you know what I mean? Like, didn't even want to go down that road. So I went to like the compilations, and I found Punkorama. It was Punkorama 2, and then another one was a what was the other one? Shit. Covers. Fuck, dude, what were those covers called? Like Punk Goes Pop. There you go. Punk Goes Pop. There was not that yet, or I didn't see it. I don't know. So I got Punkorama 2. Had like, God, who was? I know Straight Face was on there. Melancholy, pretty sure they were on there. Agnostic Front. Who else was on there? No Effects. Just a lot of good bands. I think like Descendants. I'm brain farting right now, but there is so many bands. That CD really opened me up to a lot of different music. The other one was like an X Games CD, and it had like 311, Bush, Pantera. It had some okay stuff, and then it had like some electronic music, whatever. But honestly, like I like a lot of different stuff, so it was cool to listen to. But that's besides, getting my music that way, I had to, like I said, be very secretive about it, and that's how I did it. But the one thing that I do want to say is how I got like into playing guitar. That's just a really weird discussion, and man, I've already been. I'm gonna have to edit the shit out of this video. Okay, so I want to say, like I said, seventh, eighth grade. Um, I know at that time I had some friends. I had like at least two friends that I skateboarded with that played guitar, and I would always go to their house after skateboarding and just watch them, you know. And when they were done, they would let me play. I mean, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but I would just strum it, whatever. Um, Randomly one day, and I could be totally misquoting this, but like I remember my mom just randomly asking me. We were driving somewhere, and we stopped somewhere. It was outside of a music store. I had no idea what we're doing, and she just asked me. She said, "George, like if you were to play an instrument, what would it be?" And I was like, I don't know. And so then I kind of realized what was happening. I was looking at this music store. We're outside, and I see like guitars and whatnot. And I said guitar because my friends and whatnot. So she walked me in and bought me this no-name acoustic, classical acoustic. It wasn't steel strings, you know. It was like I don't even know what we call those strings, but like fuck, I don't even know what they're called. But you know, the classic guitars. And yeah, she bought me that, and I was really excited. Um, Funny thing is, I took that thing home. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know if it was in tune. I didn't know anything. So I think the first few days I would, I was like, oh yeah, I got a guitar. So I was strumming it, trying to do whatever. Sounded like shit. And I want to say that that guitar sat in my room for a few months, and I would just pick it up for fun, like, oh yeah, I have a guitar. It wasn't until I don't know, a few months later, I was at one of my buddy's houses, and he started to let me play his guitar more often. And the one thing that I learned really quick was um, I could watch someone play, and then I would pick it up and emulate them, and I would play some of the stuff. And so I was like, oh, like so. I guess that's how I'm learning how to play guitar. Because they would try to show me stuff, but they would talk in like technical terms, like, oh, this is the G string, and you need to do this, and blah 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 blah. Okay, cool. Um, so what I would do is I would play whatever I saw them play. I would try to at least, and then I would go home to my acoustic and try to play that. And eventually, I learned songs, and I started buying guitar magazines because back then it wasn't like you could go online now and say, oh, how do I play this song, and then it pops up with tabs, guitar tabs, or someone showing you how to play whatever. Back then you would buy a guitar magazine and it would say the 5 songs, always 5 songs that they'd have the tabs for in the back. And I tell you that 9 times out of 10 I would buy it just because there'd be one okay song. So you'd have like, I'm gonna just make it up, but you'd have like say Marilyn Manson on there, and then like Hole, and then like some other random ass bands that I didn't care about. But I would still try to learn them, and that's how I started learning more tablature. And when I figured that out, I would just read my friends' books that they had. They had full tablature books for like Nirvana, a lot of grunge bands. I think Soundgarden. I don't remember who else, but if I really wanted to learn the song, I would just borrow their tab book, and I would learn it. Um, Still in the eighth grade, and I don't. I might have told my mom and my dad. I don't remember how far into that conversation I got. So this is definitely eighth grade. We have a talent show, and I was like, man, like I wanna play guitar in the talent show. So I have this acoustic guitar. I'm like, this thing is not gonna do it. So I remember, I'm pretty sure I went to my mom, but she'd already bought me, the acoustic. I went to my dad, and I said, Dad, like this talent show is coming up. I really want to play guitar. I have, a couple songs that I'd like to play. And I was like, I mean, I'm pretty sure I asked him if he could buy me one. I don't know. I don't know how it worked back then. And he kind of just looked at me like, you don't play guitar. And I said, yeah, I do. And he basically just didn't believe me. And he's like, he's like, I'm not buying you a guitar. I wanted like an electric guitar. I even like showed him it was the Strat pack, and it was a Squire Strat Sunburst. Um, God, that had three single coils, pickups. That thing sounded like shit. But it had that. It came with strings, a tuner, strap, an amp, and like everything you need. And I think it was like 150, $200. And anyways, Dad didn't buy it. Didn't believe me. So I ended up going to one of my friends that played guitar, and I talked him into letting me borrow a guitar, everything to just play, right? He let me borrow. It was another Fender Strat, and it was like a Fender practice amp, a cord, a strap, and then I had a wah pedal, oh, a wah pedal, and and like a little metal zone pedal or something. And anyways, I remember auditioning for this talent show, and I didn't know what songs I wanted to play because I couldn't really play anything completely. So I was like faking it till I made it, right? And I remember going up, and I was just going to whoever was in charge of it is one of the teachers, and I played a couple songs, and we narrowed it down to two songs, and I don't know how I picked these. The first one I know. Here comes Lagatha again on my desk. Hello, what are you doing? The first one was Lithium by Nirvana. Obviously, I'm a huge Nirvana fan. And then the other one, I have no idea how I agreed to this one, but I did Sweet Dreams by Marilyn Manson, and that's a cover. And I was like, oh, I got this wah pedal. I can do like the solo for it. Um, I wish I could get this footage. It's on VHS. It's not digitally like on anything. But yeah, I played it and basically blew my dad away. My dad was like, "What the heck?" And I want to say either Christmas or my birthday, my mom and my dad bought me a Strat pack. So I proved it to them that I could play guitar. But yeah, that was awesome. It was like the beginning of the end because I started my first band in the eighth grade, and I went to my first concert in the eighth grade, which was The Offspring, and The Living End opened for them. It was at the Universal Amphitheater. And even after seeing that, I said, "This is awesome. I want to do this." Um, but yeah, I mean, I had to sneak around. I really had to sneak around to find the music that I liked. I will say one thing. I remember this is how bad it was, like in my dad's house. So when I would shower, I would put the radio on, and he always had it on his Christian stations. I think it was like 107.9. And I remember going to take a shower and locking the door, and I put on K Rock, and my dad was pissed. I remember him like pounding on the outside of the door, and I remember what song it was, and it was Soundgarden, and it was Black Hole Sun. And that song at that time was so sick. And I remember my dad pounding on the door, "Turn it off, turn that music off." Yeah, I will never forget that because I mean I still love Soundgarden to this day, but that was a struggle. I had to like be sneaky about it, and it's kind of funny to think about that because I had to be sneaky about everything. I had to be sneaky about my tattoos, my piercings, everything. Speaking of piercings, Lagatha, what are you doing? She's right here, like right. You can't see her. Hold on, let me see. Oh, look at that belly. Look at the belly. Isn't she so cute? Look at this little girl. Look at her. She's like, "Why are you doing this to me? You know I don't like to be held." Look at how cute she is. Look at that. She's like, "Why are you doing this to me?" See, she's adorable. Look at her. Look at her. Okay. Okay, little one. There you go. There you go. She almost fell off. Um, okay, so one thing I'll say before I end this. So, uh, I've had a bunch of piercings and stuff, not like gnarly, I guess gnarly, whatever. Anyways, I took my all my piercings out about 2 or 3 months ago, and it was just a decision I had to make. I had my plugs, my ears, Stretched to what, 9/16, and I had my nose pierced, which will probably be pierced forever because it's through cartilage. Took that out. Um, Long story short, what am I getting at? So look at they haven't closed completely, but I know they've gotten smaller, right? So this morning I'm looking in the mirror. I was like, all right, let's see. I try to put in some of my jewelry that I had. Oh my god, it hurts so bad. So yeah, my ears have shrunk. So yeah, we'll see if they go down to close. If they look bad, I'm just gonna. You can get them sewn up or something, but whatever. But yeah, so I don't know what the point of all that was. I just wanted to tell you guys the story of how I got into music. There's more detailed um, information about that, but that's basically it. And yeah, I had to sneak around. I had to sneak around for all that. I'll tell you how bad it was, how strict my parents were. I guess I was a crazy kid. I guess. I couldn't even drink. I couldn't drink dark soda. That was an actual thing that my parents told me. They said, George, you cannot drink dark soda, and I was like, why? They said because that's caffeine. I couldn't drink Coke, Pepsi, Dr Pepper, any of that stuff. Here's the funny part, though, because I had, my parents were split. They both raised me differently, had different rules. At my mom's house, I was able to listen to more secular music because she wasn't as strict about it. But I couldn't drink Coca Cola. I was drinking like Sprites and stuff. I couldn't wear black shoes. Go figure. What else couldn't I do? Anyway, so the weekend would come. I go to my dad's, and I couldn't listen to any good music, any of my secular music, but he would let me drink Coca Cola and Dr Pepper. So it was like a payoff, right? It was like, whatever. I had to do what I had to do, and everything else is it's history. I mean, I have been in a couple dozen bands, and I've recorded a bunch of stuff. I've toured, made music videos, played with some cool bands and all that, and I still play to this day. Music is awesome. I love music. If I ever have kids, I don't think I'll be as strict with them, but obviously the main stuff. I mean, I don't want them to get into like some scary music. I mean, look at. I don't even want to get into this, but like, I listen to some scary music. I mean, according to everyone else, like screamy, death metal, whatever. But even some of that stuff, I won't listen to. Like if they're over saying some gnarly shit, I won't listen to it. It's just I don't know. But I will listen to stuff that's just screaming the whole time, and I'll be okay with it. But yeah, that's the end of this podcast. I'm gonna go and edit today at some point. And I'm really thinking that my next podcast, I want to interview someone. I really do. And it doesn't even have to be somebody famous or anything. I kind of just want to interview someone, but someone interesting. But I don't know if I'm going to do it. I got to see who I can get a hold of that would even want to do it, And yeah, whatever. That's kind of what I want to do, though. That's the direction I want to go. Also, what else do I want to do? I wanted to do, I think I said this the last podcast, I want to do a couple playthroughs where I play through some music, because I finally figured out how to get my music onto this so you could hear it. That was a little road bump that I had to get over with Neural DSP and Streamlabs OBS, because they don't like to work together for some reason. Anyways, that is it. Yeah, that's it. So, just like always, I will say this. Everybody, something you guys want to do, just don't think of the outcome of it. Just think of what happiness it'll bring you at that point, right? So, don't worry about it, Like, if you want to go out and go for a run, if you want to go play guitar, if you want to try something new, just fucking do it, I mean, all this shit that I'm doing, I've never done it. I've never done a podcast, I'm just fucking doing it. And I'm not saying it's good, but hey, there's a podcast. But I will ask this. Please, thumbs up, subscribe, like, comment, whatever you want to do, make a joke on there. I'm just trying to get my the sub count on their up. It's free. You don't have to do anything. It's just they have regulations of how to what? I don't even know what I'm saying. But yeah, just like and subscribe, please. And I'll be back very soon. And I'm hoping to do better versions of this if I can only talk. And it's because I haven't finished my coffee. But until then, I'll see you guys later.
Heard he used to be in a band or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They were
Toured and stuff. Yeah, they used to call him
Georgezilla.
Sleazy G or something. I don't get it. The Georgezilla Podcast.